and welcome to another Secret of the Mimic news video. So recently, the Steam page for Secret of the Mimic dropped, and with it came some very interesting new images. Now, a lot of them just are detailing stuff that we already had a bit of an idea, but it does give us a bit more information on both possible new levels and some new characters in it. Well, I say new. Some of them I think we may have met before. Okay, so if we go on to the Steam page, the first image that comes up, if it will let me click on it, thank you, is what looks to be a parts and service kind of workshop, and it's kind of reminding me of the Help Wanted levels, where you have to fix Bonnie, or Chica, or Foxy, or Freddy, and so I'm wondering if at some point we're going to be going in there. And this looks like some kind of version of Arnie, the elephant from the trailer, and also from Ruin. Because by the looks of it, he's gonna be an animatronic, but we know that he's a mascot costume as well. So perhaps we're gonna be making him into an animatronic, or perhaps we're gonna be going in there, we're gonna be repairing him. Bit like in the Mimic story. One of the first teams that went in there, they kind of went in and they were tasked with repairing whatever was there. Now, brightening the image does not really reveal very much, just gives us a better look at the room, just some boxes and parts. Not entirely sure if that's going to be Arnie's. Well, it can't be Arnie's torso, because Arnie's torso is there. Also, I keep on saying Arnie, I should specify that it's not his canon name. As far as I'm aware, the elephant costume doesn't actually have a name yet, but I'm calling him Arnie because just saying elephant costume, elephant mascot costume, mascot, elephant costume, it gets a bit repetitive, gets a bit boring, so I've decided until there's a better name out there for him, he is Arnie. For now, anyway. But that looks like another costume. I can't tell if there's anything inside it. Also, whilst we're talking about stuff inside of an elephant mascot costume, I know that in the trailer, apparently there is an arm sticking out of the kind of costume in that room where you have like a kind of puzzle door, and you've got the costume slumped in the corner. I didn't realise when I was looking through the trailer that there was an arm there. But it turns out there is, so thought I'd mention that because there is really going to be no other good time for me to mention that. Now if we go to the next image, we have another look at the hallway where we've got the three mascot costumes kind of in their little caskets, boxes, I don't know, along the wall. This is going to be the main hallway, and we can see we've got another look at Arnie, and he is still really, really creepy. And it looks like we've got this kind of B character, which I believe we saw in both the trailer and like this kind of pirate section, or like kind of seaside cove area, and also I believe a PAX West poster from a couple years ago. When I say a couple, I mean like a year. Again, brightening this doesn't really reveal much, but again gives us a bit of another look. Although there is this weird thing, I don't know what that is actually. So I say they don't reveal much, it reveals that whatever the fuck this is. I'm thinking this may be Jackie, it's just a bit hard to tell with the bars in front of it. But it does look like some kind of version of Jackie with the red arms and the white torso. Our third image is the giant Music Man prototype that we saw in the trailer, where he is kind of crashing down through the roof and just destroying a massive part of the factory. I think this is his arm there. And also, didn't realize this, again in the trailer, that this bit is actually a music box. I kind of thought it was just a big spiky roller. That was just like, that's incoming death. I'm about to die from this big Music Man. I don't know why I didn't question why an animatronic would need that, but hey ho. I love the design for this. It's really cool design, and I love the inclusion of the music box, because music boxes have been around in FNAF for ages, with winding up the puppet and the Torridian March, and all the different like tracks that we have throughout FNAF 3 and other games where it is originally from music boxes. So having that as part of his actual design is really cool, and definitely gives him a bit more personality. Going on to our next image, we have Jackie, and it looks like this is just another look at the scene where Jackie is kind of swinging in or out of the vent. You can see that she has the mimic eyes, telling us that yes, this is the mimic inside it. We already knew that from all the teasers, and obviously the fact that both Jackie and the mimic are the main character in all the marketing of this. Like, it looks creepy here, but when you brighten up, you really get a just kind of an understanding of exactly how creepy that is. Like, yes, the darkness does give it that extra creepiness factor, but I would argue it's almost creepier in light. Our fifth image gives us another look at the security office, and obviously we have MCM for Murray's costume manner. We have the Faz Wrench prototype port, which again, interesting that the Faz Wrench already exists in 1979. And upon browsing this image, you can get a kind of look at the window, and it does look like there's much interest going on there. I thought that this guy kind of maybe is an endoskeleton head, but I do think it is just a box. But it does kind of look like a face. I can't check. Now that I've seen that it looks like a face, can't unsee it. And I'm going to curse you with that knowledge too. You're welcome. And generosity like that is exactly what you should like and subscribe if you are enjoying the video so far. And ring the bell so that you can see whenever I drop any new videos about any news about FNAF. I had no plan upon going into that plug. Now I can't really see what this bit of paper says, even when sharpening it, it doesn't really help, it's still really blurry. It's quite small text as well on the image, but I think it's just some kind of instruction, and judging by the tick mark, I don't think it's for us, I think it was for whoever was previously working in there. So perhaps that's going to give us a bit more information on who was previously working in this office. Because whilst yes, this does belong to Edward Murray, the creator of the Mimic, the factory just seems a bit too high tech for it to have just been him working at it. So maybe it's going to give us a bit more story, maybe it's going to give us a bit more lore about, hey, Henry was working at here, or William, or Ralph. Don't know why Ralph would be working here, he's not a technician. But you know what I mean, like it could be anyone, it will just maybe give us a bit more information and give the story a bit more depth. Now this sixth and final image is perhaps the most interesting, at least to me, because it looks like, one, we've got Monty, which you can tell judging by the design, it is exactly like the gondola cutout from Ruin, but also it looks like we've got Happy Frog times 2, and also Mr. Hippo, plus a multicolored sheep, but I don't think the sheep are important. Maybe, I mean, who knows, we could go into this and the sheep are the most important menace in the franchise. Perhaps they are the reason why all the murders happened. Maybe they caused the bite of 83, the bite of 87, maybe they caused everything. I highly doubt it though. But it looks like we're going to get a look at the origins of the Mediocre Melodies, or what will later become the Mediocre Melodies. Because like I say, we have both Happy Frog and we have Mr. Hippo. And I know there was some talks a while back that Monty could be a Mediocre Melody, but I think this, for me, is confirmation that he is. And I'm thinking that the Mediocre Melodies maybe at some point were to do with a carnival or a circus, judging by the kind of tents on this carriage. I don't know the proper term for it, but it's very associated with travelling circuses and travelling carnivals. So perhaps the Mediocre Melodies kind of went along with it, and it was a travelling show. Because we have it here, I don't think that Carnival will ever be its own game. And I know that we did have the Funko designs for the Balloon Circus animatronics, but I feel if we ever do get them in a game, it is going to probably be a sequel to Mimic, and there's just going to be a spare costume that was once worn for a very specific show. A bit like how if you go to Disneyland or Disney World, they have all these different versions of Mickey and Donald and Goofy and Minnie and Daisy, I believe it is, and the dog Pluto. I'm not a Disney buff. But speaking of Disney, this is very much giving me vibes of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride and the Small World ride, where it is kind of animatronics on a stage in a very dark room with just lights upon them, and you're in some kind of like cart on rails, and you're kind of slowly going through, and you get to see them perform on the little stage, and you get this little story or whatever. Again, not a Disney buff, don't know anything about it. We do get to see this little snake guy, which I love. I love this little snake guy. He is so cool. Also, this hidden frog guy. He is not important, but I want to showcase him because I think he's going to get forgotten. So I think it's very cool that we're going to be getting either origins of the Mediocre Melodies or clues to their origins, but that only Mr. Hippo and Happy Frog, who are now in the Pizza Sim era Mediocre Melodies, are still here in, well, we're here in 1979. It's interesting that although Orville could technically be around in the form of Arnie, perhaps Arnie kind of was originally just some random elephant costume that was around and used every now and again in different shows and performances, and then later kind of was like, we're just going to shove you to this kind of group. Maybe he was quite popular and they're like, okay, we'll put him in this band that is gaining popularity and quite popular with people. Maybe, but also maybe not. I mean, it does look like they have had massive redesigns. I mean, we can kind of guess this is meant to be Mr. Hippo, but other than it being a hippo and it being purple and being associated with a country-ish band and Happy Frog, there's not a lot that is like, hey, this is Mr. Hippo. And then Happy Frog is a bit more obvious. I mean, this is very much just a smaller, old school design of Happy Frog, especially with the little yellow ball thing. I don't know what it is, an antenna? Frogs don't even have antenna. What is that? This is only coming to me now. Like, but what is the thing on Happy Frog's head meant to be? I don't understand what it is. Is it an antenna? It must be an antenna. Then why would she have an antenna? Frogs don't have antenna. And you can't say that it's just, oh, she's an animatronic, she needs it to work. The rest of them don't. I mean, sure, like, maybe Mr. Hippo and Orville's are hidden under their hats, but Pig Patch doesn't have a hat and he does not have an antenna. It's very interesting that these are only two who were already in the Mediocre Melodies originally. So, again, Arnie could become Orville, but Pig Patch isn't anywhere to be seen. I know in Fazbear Frights, there's Rosie, who is a spring-lock animatronic, and you could argue that maybe she got kind of her base origin suit kind of thing, or being a pig animatronic, got kind of remade into Pig Patch, but I think that is very much a stretch. But it's definitely interesting that Mediocre Melodies are going to be more important by the looks of it. Now, the description is the exact same as it was in the article that we read last time, and the system requirements are a bit higher than Into the Pit, but I'm not an expert on system requirements, but it doesn't look like it should be much more. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this little update on Secret of the Mimic. If you did enjoy this, you'll perhaps want to check out my previous videos on Secret of the Mimic, and I will see you in the next video. Good bit for now.